Thank you. Okay, so now.
Welcome to Earth and Sky. We're approaching the holidays here. If you haven't already, like our Facebook. Oh, you're so anxious.
I hate the holidays lately.
You keep getting so anxious.
I know, they're freaking me out, man.
Oh my gosh, I think we need to do a special on anxiety or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Why are you so anxious?
Why am I? I'm not the only one that's anxious, man. Have you been outside lately? Go to a store. Drive down the street. There are people screaming at each other. Everybody's freaking out. And, well, I have to say I'm kind of freaking out too. But I'm blaming it on them.
It's true. Anxiety can sneak up on people this time of year. A lot of people seem to be a little bit more anxious, and the stores get crowded.
Yes.
And people get a little pushy.
Yes.
And you seem a little anxious. So there's some things that you can do to help with releasing anxiety.
Ooh,
Are you interested?
Nice. I would be very nice.
I think you could use
I could use a lot of that.
So one of the first things to do, there's some questions that you need to ask yourself. One, is the anxiety yours?
Isn't there a pill for that?
Yeah. And
sorry.
so what I mean by that,
Yes.
So sometimes people would think, well, yes, the anxiety's mine.
Of course it's mine. I'm freaking out. Yeah, how can it not be mine if I'm freaking out?
But really, it might be deeper than that. It might be yours, might be something you're really anxious about, or did you just come from shopping or work or around
or
people?
Or driving, or just being away from your house. Yes.
And maybe you were around a lot of people that were anxious, and you're empathic, so you've taken on that anxiety.
Oh, so they're stressing me out?
And maybe it's not really your anxiety.
Oh.
It's a good question to ask.
That's a really good question to ask.
And then the second question that I would say would be, because you want to really recognize, pinpoint what it is. So is the anxiety based on thought or feeling?
Okay, so wait, well, I guess it's almost, most of it's feeling, I think. So, because it's
sensation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of it, because like there's the people. Yes, the people are freaking out. So you go into the store, and the lady behind the counter is like, "Oh, what? Do the thing here. What do you want? Get out. Bye." And I'm just like, "Wow. Okay. Sure. Thanks. Bye." And then and then you've got everybody coming at you when you're trying to get out the thing, and then they just everybody. Oh. But so that stresses me out. But then like that, so that seems more emotional.
That's true.
So then, but like there's the stuff like where you have like the family dinners that are, there's the Thanksgiving thing that just went by. Oh, I mean, we get lucky because we get to spend a lot of it with family and a lot of friends, like our friend family, which is very cool and they're awesome.
There's a lot of family dynamics.
But there's still stress that goes with it. I mean, there's, the ones that are the people that are angry and the people that they've had issues so far in the year and they haven't seen anybody since the dinner and now it's going to get crazy and you don't know what's going to happen. And that seems more, now would that be more mental or emotional?
Some of that is thought. So I know some of the people that I've had as clients lately that they'll talk about how they're so nervous about being around their family. They don't know if they want to go. Maybe they haven't talked to the sister or the brother doesn't talk to the mother.
And you don't know if they're going to come or not. And
if they do, are they going to make a scene?
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of that is thought because you're really in your head with it and you're thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to act? What will I say? Yeah. Can I handle it? Do I even want to go?
And worst case scenarios are always what you're thinking.
Exactly. And that escalates that anxiety a lot of times too.
Yeah.
Rather than just thinking, I'll just stay in my lane. Or I'll just not go. That's an option too. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
And
I like stay in my lane.
Stay in my lane. Have some blinders on.
I'll do my thing. I'll interact with the people I want to interact with and not be waiting for the worst thing to happen.
That's a huge thing. That's part of staying in the present moment. Anxiety doesn't live in the present moment. Anxiety lives in the past and then the future. So when you're anxious, you're either thinking about all of those things in the past that you wish didn't happen, that you're afraid will happen again in the future.
Or worse.
Right.
Which is what's always going to be worse.
Right.
Right.
Or you're anticipating that maybe something seems a little amiss, or there's miscommunication or something like that,
Yeah.
or you're afraid maybe it's somebody that you're hosting the dinner and it's your first time cooking everything for this big
and
meal.
What if I forget? What if it doesn't happen?
What if the turkey burns,
Or
or what if
blows up? Watch the movie. Can they blow up? I don't know. Sorry. So go on.
Right. And so reining that back in so you're not worried about the future, but you take everything one step at a time, because anxiety
And just what I'm
is
doing.
cleared out. Stay in your own lane with
Okay,
it.
stay in your own lane. I like that, stay in your own lane. I need to say that to car people driving too. Dang it, people, stay in your own lane.
I think you talk enough to the
I
drivers.
do. So whatever you drive, that's your name. Come on, Toyota truck. Come on.
So identifying, is it thought or is it feeling?
Okay. So
Sometimes it might feel like it's a little bit of both,
right,
but
but the
really try
thought-
to identify,
Yeah.
is it thought? Am I in my brain with this, or am I just
Just
feeling
things,
this?
like when I'm leaving the shopping center.
Right, is it a
And
sensation
everybody-
in the body?
Yeah, everybody's coming at me and I'm just
Right.
like, oh my God, and it has nothing to do with, there's no fears, there's no mental things going on. I'm just like, I have this emotional state that I have to get out of here.
Right, you
So,
feel like you
okay.
can't breathe, they're not even touching you,
Yeah,
but it
it's
feels
just like
like
they're
the walls
crushing
are
you.
closing in.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Exactly.
okay, so
that would
okay,
be feeling.
all right.
That heaviness in the chest,
Yeah.
or that sensation in the stomach. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are definitely feelings. So
Okay.
identify it.
Okay.
And then it's going to feel a lot smaller when you realize that's just a sensation in my stomach.
Okay,
I'm still me.
and I'm okay.
My feet are grounded on
Yeah,
the floor.
I'm here, right, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here. I'm going to handle things as they come.
Okay.
So, and then the next thing that you'll want to ask yourself is, this anxiety that I'm experiencing, is it impacting how I treat other people?
Oh yeah, well yeah, because being anxious. I mean, the difference of like the lady, like when I go up to the cashiers. I mean, that's when you watch them being stressed, they react differently. And when I'm stressed,
You snap at me.
I
Oh wait, sorry.
oh, wow, that just totally backfired on me. I'm trying to blame it on other people, man. Don't put this on me, man. I do. I get shorter with people, and I'm what?
Right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that anxiety drives us to really like jump to conclusions. We assume if we're not feeling well and we're not happy, we assume other people aren't happy with us, and then we
Oh,
tend
yeah.
to go ahead and blame them, or
And
we get angry.
Or we snap at them.
Exactly. We want them to hurry up.
Yeah, and when we snap at them because we think they might be upset, and we don't want to feel that. We don't want to
Right.
get
We
that.
want to be
from
on the
them.
defensive.
Yeah, exactly. We
By
want
being
to. We don't.
offensive.
Yeah, we don't want to be hurt first.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then that
okay.
creates this vicious cycle. Have you been to the grocery store lately?
Wow, I think we need to go to the grocery store and film this because there's a lot to be seen. So yes.
And so that impacting others is a way to really
Yeah.
observe your behavior and notice, ooh, maybe I'm getting anxious and I didn't even recognize it. So you can
Yeah.
kind of learn to halt it before it gets too bad, or you start to recognizing, ooh, I was feeling really anxious and I just took that out on you and it wasn't
Yeah.
your fault. So I'll apologize for that, and then just
you
kind of
venting?
pull myself back.
Do I need to apologize now?
You can say you're sorry.
I'm so sorry.
You're, oh, thank you.
I'm sorry for being
You
so
were
anxious.
stressed.
I was very anxious.
Just stay in your own lane next time.
She gets more out of me on these things. So go on. Yes. So I'm so sorry.
So the next question that you're going to want to
Okay,
ask,
yes.
if you're feeling anxious, is this impacting how I treat myself? This is one a lot of people forget to ask.
Well, it's about how I feel. So how would that impact me?
Definitely impacting yourself, because if you're feeling anxious, you're missing out on a lot of joy.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you're not feeling the peace that you can have in the
Right.
present
Oh,
moment,
yeah.
because you're caught up either in the thought or the
The
feeling
emotion.
and letting that anxiety run through you.
Yeah, because it's the only thing you're really thinking of. I mean, so
Exactly.
you have no idea. You really don't grasp what's going on around you, except in a defensive manner.
Right.
So you're just, I mean, you're so like this, and you're just like, don't do anything else to hurt me, stay away, and that's your entire world is that right then, and so you're not seeing anything else.
And you're not letting anybody else in a
Or
positive
near you,
way
yeah, of
because
course,
you're
yeah.
guarded, your
Yeah,
walls are
of
up and you're
course.
just, stay
Stay
back.
away, yeah. I'm at my limit, and if there's anything more, again, the fear is that it's gonna get worse. Whatever somebody comes to you, whatever they say, even if they're gonna come in and go, hi, how's it going, here's a present, you're like, they're gonna say something horrible.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then one of the big things with this is that when it's impacting you in that way, then your behavior starts to go towards that where you're just in a situation, you're just dealing with a situation, you're not enjoying it. So
Oh, absolutely.
if you're at the holiday dinner.
If you're at the dinner, yeah, and you're just
trying to get through.
You're waiting, can we leave? Because nobody's freaked out. Can we leave?
It's been an hour.
Yeah, nobody's freaked out yet, and I'm so happy, and I really want to get out of here. Because the sooner we get out of here, then if something goes bad, I'm not here anymore.
Exactly.
And so you're just waiting for the end to come instead of actually being at the dinner,
And
being with your family.
there might have been some pleasant conversations because you might not hate everybody that's
Right.
at your family dinner,
Well, and even
but
if
you were so on edge. Maybe you didn't enjoy the conversation with your Aunt Shirley or your Uncle
Because you're trying to
John
overhear
or-
the one that the person you're expecting to freak out possibly. You're trying to listen to conversations about them. And you're not really paying attention to the people that you're actually with.
Right.
And yeah, there's so much that goes, it all has to do with that fear and anxiety. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly.
So you lose out on the pleasure of the moment.
And same thing, I've watched so many times when people are hosting a dinner too. It can be very overwhelming if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
trying to time all of the food and you want to be in the conversation, but you just get so much in your head wanting everything to be so perfect. You forget that people are there to enjoy your company and they're coming
They're there to
because,
see you,
yeah.
you and the food, but
Right.
you are first.
And if the biscuits are burned, it's not a big deal. Or if the salad falls on the floor, I know that's a common one for a lot of people. If the salad falls on the floor because the dog walked in front of you and
Absolutely.
it's just
It's
destroyed
everywhere.
and that beautiful glass dish is now
Oh,
destroyed,
yeah.
guess what? It's okay.
It is, except for you had to take the dog to the vet because sorry. See, I'm horrible.
You're a little
I'm
anxious.
stressed, man.
That's thinking in the future instead
That's
of
stressed.
just...
I know. See, that's what I'm saying.
Most
Okay,
likely
so
the dog was okay.
so I'm trying not to be stressed, and in the future or in the past. Okay, so
So I think you
how do
might
I?
need steps.
I was
to
to say, how do I let this go, man? Because I'm still freaking out.
Yeah, you seem a little overwhelmed.
I'm still freaking out, man.
So one thing, take a breath.
In my mind, we cut the dog, and I kicked him on accident, and he chawed on my leg, and so now we both have to go to a vet in the hospital. Do you think the vet would take care of me? Anyway, so.
And you know what? Well, and actually, our vet has sometimes done
Does he?
human x-rays, I just found out, but,
What?
right? So it makes it
awesome.
easier.
We love our pets. So anyway, so.
But you know what? The biggest thing about the
Yes.
situation you just said,
Okay.
the dog's at home sleeping on the bed right now. None of that even happened.
Oh, right.
When you come back
So
to the present
why
moment.
am I so stressed?
Exactly. So it really becomes about recognizing it. So the
Okay.
first step, so we need to release this stress. We need to get you to
I
have
wanna-
your shoulders
yes,
dropped down.
How can I calm down? How can I own it again?
Because if you notice in your stomach right now, probably it feels pretty tight. It feels like you're not breathing as deep as you normally would. Yeah, exactly. I'm hearing you. Fight 'em.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, me and the dog, see? I told you.
And so the steps to let it go. So recognizing it first. That's the biggest key. Recognize it. Is it yours? Is it someone else's?
Okay.
Is it founded on thought or a feeling? Is it
okay.
impacting how you're treating others? Is it impacting you? Are you not enjoying the full joy that is possible in the situation, even though you
Right.
might not see it?
Right.
But are you feeling like you're just dealing with every situation to
Only-
get through it
Yeah.
instead of to
Are
enjoy
you trying
it?
to get out of it?
recognize it, ask all of those questions.
Yeah, okay.
And then the other steps to let it go, to be able to finally release it. There's a lot of ways to do this. There are many different options. In just a minute, I'm going to share one of the techniques that I find to be really effective with people. I use it on a lot of clients. But first, I was going to ask you, for you personally, pulling out of the anxiety, how would you normally release it? Let's say you have some holiday get-togethers and you're just really nervous about how to do it. You don't
Which
know.
I've been through a lot.
Every family has. Everybody.
Yeah. Well, and that's because I mean that's just that, even just the anxiety of people you haven't seen, everybody coming together. Even just wanting it to be great, can be an anxious.
Yeah, you might love every single person that's going to be there.
There's not going to be any stress, and there's not. It's all going to be good. I mean, even because I've been pretty lucky. When our family gets together, there wasn't almost never this
fighting,
drama and all. It was just, on occasion somebody'd show up and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. But that's worst case, But so we were always happy to see each other, but there was still anxiety because you really want it to go well.
You want the house to be perfect.
Yeah, you really want the whole day to go perfectly, and even that anxiety can be almost overwhelming at times, which seems odd, but it's really true. And so when we've done it, that's for me. I've always, my thing about is, the biggest thing in my life that if I feel like it's a choice, I have a real issue with things are have-tos. There's so many things in life, and the way I get them done is that they're a have-to. That's how I make sure they get done. They're not. It's not a choice. When there's a project that has to be done, it's not. Oh, I would really like to get it done. It has to be done.
You have to clean the litters every day.
Exactly right. Yes. You have to take care of it. You have to feed the animals.
You have to eat every day.
Yeah, exactly. And they're have-tos, but but they're really not. The eating part, but no, it's going to the dinner. One of the big ones, like for me, was I remember. Well, even when we were together, like right at the early parts of when we were together, was I would just get, I get so wound up, and but there's this weight of it being a have-to, and it just seems like such a big deal, and just the whole remembering that doing it is an option. The fact that I decide if I didn't want to do this, I don't have to. They're not going anywhere. I'm going to see them the next day, or I'm going to see them a week later, or I'm going to see them for Christmas, and and this is Thanksgiving. There's so many, and so it's not that, it's just that recognizing, this really is an option. Do you want to do it? And it's like, well, yeah, I want to do it, and just that, but I don't have to do it. That to me, that even just saying it, I can feel. I just go.
Yeah, your shoulders.
Everything drops. Yeah, that the fact that it's an option, not a have to.
Then you're choosing that you want to do something.
Yeah.
You're choosing it for pleasure, or maybe you're choosing it for responsibility, but it puts the power back into you.
It's that even if you don't want to do it, but you choose to do it.
Then it's your choice.
Your choice. It's your power. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You've chosen your power to say, I will do this. And suddenly, now you have control of yourself. You have control of that situation from your side.
And if you want to leave, you can leave.
Yeah, exactly. You show up and you go, hey, this is great. You know what? I lied. This is not nearly as great as I was hoping. I'm going to go now. And that is a choice. And it's always a choice. And that's where I think people really need to take into account the fact that it's supposed to be about enjoying. It's supposed to be enjoying your days, even when you're shopping and stuff. We watch people get so upset about things, and it's like you really are missing the whole point. It really is about enjoying. So
it is, yeah, absolutely. And taking your power back is one of the things I was going to talk about at the end of this too, because that's such a big deal. That's so important. When you're feeling anxious, you've given your power away, whether it's to an imaginary thought or to a feeling that you have or sensation that's in your body. But you've given your power away. You feel powerless, and so you feel consumed by the emotion of the anxiety. So the second you pull your power back and you realize, this is my life.
Yeah.
This is my choice.
I get to choose.
I'm choosing,
Yeah.
and you can choose whichever way you want. And
Yeah.
I had talked to a client recently on the phone who just needed the reassurance that it was okay that she not go back to her toxic family. At this time of year,
Yeah.
it's very hard for people because they feel so torn. Maybe they've done some
They feel like
self-work
they-
and
They feel like they have to.
they feel like they have to, and they feel an obligation because they were born to a certain set of people, and they know that it's a very toxic situation. They'll leave, and it might take days or weeks or months to repair the damage emotionally that's done, because sometimes they will release their power to
Yeah.
people that they
Yeah.
were raised with in
Yeah.
a way that they would never release that power to anybody
Anybody
else
else,
on the
of
planet.
course.
And in those situations, it's better to say, you know what, this is a choice, and I'm gonna choose to take care of myself and to honor my health and to, you know, be with friends or be with other family members. Maybe you're gonna break off and, you know, be with a select group of family, or just be by yourself. Sometimes that can
Yeah.
be empowering on
yeah,
its own.
Yeah. Well, like, there was a lady that was the service person that we were talking to, and I had asked her what she was doing, and her husband were having the Thanksgiving and Christmas, just her and her husband. The family was here, and she just said, you know, we decided that, I mean, and not that there were issues, but they just felt like, you know what, we want to make this special for us, and they wanted to
Yeah.
just really connect during the holidays.
That's nice.
And I thought that was
Sometimes
amazing.
we need that time
Yeah, that's
away.
exactly
Our
right.
lives are so busy.
So
and
busy.
we actually get time off at the holidays. So
Right.
sometimes it's nice if you have a spouse and you're just not having time to connect.
Yeah.
That might be the time that you have a
Yeah.
special moment to just pull it in and
Yeah.
just really make something
Maybe-
magical for
Maybe
yourselves.
send the kids to the grandparents, and they can have holidays there, and then just have you too, or something.
Right,
Just a
right.
thought.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, so, but
Make
pulling
it a
that
choice.
power in, making it a choice is
Yeah.
very, very important. And
Okay, and you said there was also something else we could do as a possibility?
there's another technique that you can
Okay.
do as well. So I'll kind of walk you through this. So this is another set of questions. So
Okay.
kind of go within. So you're almost going into a light state of meditation. If you have anxiety at home, go ahead and do this along with us here.
Shall what? Right? Anxiety.
I feel anxious now. I should do this technique.
Okay,
So you're going to want to just kind of go within, maybe if you're at home, close your eyes if you're going through this, and just kind of feel within, and imagine that the anxiety is in your body, and you feel it as a shape in your body. So
Okay.
where do you feel it in your body?
No, I'm just kidding. In my stomach,
In your stomach.
absolutely.
And
It's-
then
yeah.
I think that's common.
That's-
probably the most common for people is
Makes
in their
sense,
stomach,
yeah.
or some feel like a crushing sensation on the
Yeah.
chest when the anxiety,
Yes,
panic attacks.
exactly.
So in your stomach, and then what shape would you, if you can imagine that the anxiety is a shape, what shape does it feel like it has?
Like a star with a bunch of points.
Sharp.
Yeah, sharp edges, yeah.
And how big does it seem to be?
Just big enough to poke me.
Hurting all in all the
exactly.
directions.
Yeah, just enough.
Uncomfortable,
Yeah.
And then, and so how much do you think it weighs in there?
Ooh. And too much. It's like just enough to to pull me down, like
Try-
pulled on the heart, you know?
Try
Like,
and think of a specific weight. How many pounds or ounces would you give?
I'm saying probably like 4 pounds, 3 pounds, 4
Okay.
pounds. Like,
That's a good
Big,
size when it's
yeah.
sharp and jagged, and 4 pounds
yeah.
it kind of
It just
settles
really,
in, pulls on
yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I have to go to the bathroom now.
And so then you're gonna really just kind of honing in, noticing that, and then as you kind of close your eyes, and then imagine that you're putting your consciousness around the area. So you're feeling in around the edges of it, and notice where the edges are.
Okay.
Does it feel like there's really defined edges, or when you go into the edges, does it feel like it kind of fluctuates and goes in and out a bit? Kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where the edges
No,
are.
it's pretty.
Pretty solid?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Well, if you stay with that, for the sake of television,
Okay,
we're gonna
yes, do
make
it
this
fast,
a little
yeah,
faster.
okay, but-
But if you stay with that
Mhm.
image, and then you go from the edges, and then you just imagine that you go right into the center of the mass too, noticing how it feels there, how it feels solid or
just really like
really dense.
crystal.
And then so you're gonna use your breath, and you're gonna start to just imagine that each time you breathe out, you're breathing out part of that anxiety. And so if you pull yourself back even before you're breathing, and you notice now that you've identified it in your stomach, notice that how your shoulders feel compared to before.
I'm focused here, and I'm not
This feels a
here,
little
and
better.
I don't
That
feel like
feels a
I'm
little
doing.
better.
It's like when my shoulders are. It's funny you say that because when my shoulders are up, it's like I almost feel like I'm pulling away from the pain of the anxiety. You know, like the shoulders are going up.
Compensating.
Yeah, well, because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Internally, I'm like trying to push away
Avoidance.
push away from the stomach, push away from the anxiety. So I'm doing this kind of a thing. So,
And so now that you've identified it there,
and then everything,
even your legs have felt
everything's
more
like calm.
comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Now
so
it's all
just right
here. Yeah.
So that's empowering all in its own.
Yeah.
So 90%, 80% of your body at least
It's now
is
calmed.
right.
Yeah.
And you can focus it right here. So
Okay.
then you're gonna just using your breath, because breath is very powerful.
Okay.
So each breath in, you're gonna imagine you're breathing and healing. You're bringing your power back.
Okay.
Each breath in, you imagine your power is coming back into you.
Okay.
Your energy is coming back to you
My
from
strength.
all around the world. Your
My strength,
is
yeah,
coming back
okay,
into you.
okay.
And each breath out, you're breathing out part of that shape. So you might see the shape kind of obliterate. Maybe it's just going to blast
Like it's
away with one breath.
Okay.
Or it might come off in sparks with each breath.
Okay.
You might end up using your breath and imagine that it just crushes and
That's what I
crumples
was
down
kinda
into
thinking,
a tiny little mass.
go-
and then you go, and
Yeah,
it breathes
then-
out.
Okay, all right.
However you see it, and you're not forcing it, you're not trying to choose, oh, I want to see it this way or that way.
Yeah, no, it's just
You're
whatever, yeah.
You'll notice something
Yeah.
start to happen.
It's funny because when you're saying it, I'm like, I can see people thinking that, but at the same time, my brain just went, yeah, but that's not what mine does.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
for each
interesting.
person it's
It's
different.
different,
And for
okay.
different situations. When you do it once for
Oh.
anxiety, it might be one way. The next time, it might show up a different way.
Oh,
It might
interesting.
turn
Right.
from like one color, it might end up turning into a rainbow, and then just like confetti, just
Right. Oh,
dissolves.
okay. Yeah.
Might dissolve
Whatever-
or go down a drain. You might
whatever makes it feel better, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
is what you go with.
it will
Okay.
start to happen on its own as you're
Nice.
focusing on your
Nice.
breath.
Nice.
And then it's really nice. And then once you feel like it's completely gone and you feel like, oh, my stomach's empty, I feel it, I've got my power back, then you're gonna really wanna call your power back, because like I said, anxiety doesn't live in the present moment.
Right, right.
And also when you're empowered, the anxiety won't come into you, because anxiety comes in when you're stressed about the past, worried about the past,
Yep.
stressing about the future,
Right.
not
Worst
staying
case
in your own
scenario.
lane, because you're looking everywhere else instead
Right.
of in your own lane,
Yeah, yeah.
and you're giving your power away. So anxiety sees this weakness and it goes, oh, I can go
I can
live
grab-
here,
yeah,
let me fill
just
up that
hook.
space.
Yeah, just hook and grab and okay,
And then
yeah.
it builds. So you recognize it, you name what it is, you get ready to release it, you ask all of those questions we mentioned at the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
You're giving it, you can either just recognize that you have choices and that you
Yeah.
are empowered,
Right.
or you can use this technique to really identify it and then breathe it
Make
out.
it physical and put it, see it, own it, control it, and then get rid of it.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
then call your power back to you. So one of my favorite ways to call my power back is I'll stand like a star. So you want to have your feet, a little bit more than hips widths apart,
Okay.
and then have your arms out at your sides. So
Like
it
you're ready
makes
to do a jumping jack.
exactly, and you can do jumping jacks
Okay.
too, if you want to get some exercise.
I didn't
in.
expect that, but
That's
okay.
an option though.
I didn't see that coming, but all right.
And then you're just gonna say out loud, I call all of my power back to me now.
Oh.
I call all of my energy back to me now.
Okay.
You can even add in from all over the world, wherever it may be, I now call all of my energy back to me now. I call all of my power back to me now.
Nice.
And you're gonna feel this rush of power that just comes
back.
right into your chest.
Nice.
You're gonna feel strong again, you're gonna feel grounded and stable, and you're gonna realize that that anxiety was always on the outside. It's not who you are. So it may have come in and settled for a little while, but you have the power
Like
to
a
get
virus.
rid of it yourself. Exactly. Your antibiotic
Is your power.
claiming your power back,
I like
calling
that.
your power back. And then the last thing is that mirror shield. We've talked about this several
Oh, yeah.
different times.
I like
So
the
the
mirror
way
shield.
you prevent the anxiety from coming back in, in an hour when you get a phone
Right.
call from
From the one that where it's all going.
whatever.
You're like,
it
I
is.
feel so good, ring. Yeah, it's all back.
Or you realize you forgot butter at the store and you have to go back out to that grocery store.
And I'm still late. Dang it. Right.
The way you prevent that from coming back, you call your power back,
Yeah.
you realize the choices are yours. You can either have rolls with no butter, and people will survive. They're not going to die, and they're not going
That's
to
awesome.
think
Right,
of that as the
absolutely.
main thing
Yes.
about the
No, of course
holiday.
not.
Realizing that you have choices, and then calling your power back, and then putting up a mirror shield. So you envision that this shield, that the mirror faces out,
Yep.
and anything that comes towards you, not for your best and highest good, is going to bounce right off that mirror shield, go back to the sender with love. So then it transmutes that energy, because we always want to be making the world a better place. And so-
Well, for me, just with that,
Mhm.
just a thought, I always, in my head, when I see the mirror, I always actually see the mirror first.
Ah, interesting.
That's how I make sure it's actually a mirror.
I
In my
like
head,
that.
I see myself looking in the mirror, and then I turn the mirror around.
And you
so that I
bring it
know
in
it's
almost
there.
like liquid metal into your
I
body.
do, well, I
too, right?
actually, I have, it's a mirror,
Mhm.
and I see myself, and then I turn it around, and in the back is just nice, it's just that soft,
Mhm.
fuzzy black,
Oh, okay.
and then I grow it around me, so now there's a
Like
strip
like a form.
around of circles,
Okay.
and then I grab the bottom of it, and I pull it down, so now it's like a half an egg that goes
Okay.
down to below me,
Mhm.
so now it's one piece, half
Gotcha.
egg, then I do the top, so now it's looks like a full egg,
Mhm.
then I'm inside, and then I bring it to me as I I breathe in. I breathe in, and then as I breathe out, it shrinks, and it molds to who I am, so that everything is moved out of the way. There's nothing between me and it.
Okay.
And then I breathe that. Next time I breathe in real deep, I breathe in, and it expands
Ah.
and stays just on the
On the
outside.
outside of the aura.
Yeah, just
About
outside
3
of
feet off the
Yep,
body.
exactly. And that's when it goes like that. And then when I open my eyes, it's amazing because it feels like it's this beautiful, quiet void.
Yes.
And it's just such a nice thing, and I just go, oh, I mean, it's just, I've never felt anything so peaceful.
It's so empowering.
Yeah.
I've actually, one of the things that I really enjoy with the mirror shield, whenever I have clients come to me for Reiki or any type of healing work,
Mhm.
I always wrap them in a protective healing shield, and the mirror is the very last part of it that I put around them. And I've had multiple clients say that they would either have maybe a spouse was calling and just really upset and frustrated, and the phone would just be very staticky, and so they couldn't hear. Or if there was
it was kind of keeping the anger out there.
it literally does. Many
That's
times
awesome.
I've had people say
That's-
that,
they're like,
or the phone just
yeah.
kept disconnecting.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
would,
What?
I talked to you, but I can't hear.
Sorry, yeah. Try calling back, not mad. I bet it'll connect.
Right.
Click.
Honestly.
That's awesome.
So it really does work. It's based on science. It's an electromagnetic shield. You're creating an electromagnetic mirror around
Nice,
you,
nice.
and
it's
very,
just
very powerful, and a
It feels
calm,
good. Yes,
peaceful
it feels so
space.
good, yeah.
We all need to maintain that calm, that peace this
Yeah.
time at the holidays, really all the year long, but it's especially important to remind yourself during this busy season
Yeah.
where you want to be able to enjoy it with family and friends. You
Yeah.
don't want to get caught up in the stress and then have another year go by.
Well, and it's hard to balance really busy with really special.
Yes.
Really busy with really happy, really busy with not stress,
Mhm.
usually doesn't,
How do you release the to-do list
Yeah.
into what you're wanting to create,
Yep,
into an
the
experience
happiness of it,
list
yeah.
of creating joy,
Yep.
enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And so I definitely would really urge each of you to try to find ways that you can balance, settle yourself, and just come into the present moment. Don't live in the past or the future where anxiety can abound. Instead, bring yourself into the present moment. And I hope you all have a truly wonderfully blessed holiday season. We are looking forward to seeing you next week. We have 2 weeks until we have our Yuletide special here. And I hope you are all having a truly great season. Have safe travels if you're traveling somewhere. And anything else you wanted to add?
If you haven't yet, go down and hit the like button on the video.
Yes, please.
Pretty please. And if you have any comments or other ideas of things, of ways that you can deal with stress, or you deal with stress, it's different than that. I would love to hear that, because like she has her ideas and I have my ideas, and that's pretty much all the ideas that we have. So if you have more ideas, that'd be great. Send them to us. So and
share the video out
share
too.
The video. Yep.
I'm sure you know somebody who's had a little anxiety this season. Maybe don't share it directly to them with their name. You really need this.
Yeah.
But share it out.
If you like her hair color, you can send it to someone, just say you like her, you know, you ought to do this with your hair, you know. There's all kinds of reasons to share the video. So
exactly. We really appreciate all of you as being part of our ever-growing family here at Earth and Sky. And we'll see you next